Colby Covington was feeding the homeless on his Twitch live stream. Colby was also giving out clothes.
Burger? Here you go. Happy New Year, brother.
You got water there.
Are you cold? Are you cold? Yeah? Okay. You want a sweater? I got a sweater. Here. You want a water? Here you go, brother. God bless, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
Let's make it the best year yet.
Yes, 2025 gonna be the bomb.
Let's do that. Love the mindset, the perspective.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, brother. All the best.
Chael Sonnen does not believe the Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul boxing match will happen. Chael especially doesn't think they'll both be paid $250 million. As most of you know, last week, both Conor and Logan made it seem like the fight was official. However, Chael is not buying it. On his YouTube channel, Chael said he is claiming that he is going to get $250 million to go box Logan Paul in India for a billionaire investor who wants to bring attention and tourism to India. You've got to understand, Conor McGregor is not boxing Logan Paul. There is not a billionaire in India looking to bring people over and change tourism. That is something exclusively done by the government, and that government has done it in one place, and that's Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East. Third, there is no check for $250 million. He kind of went right down a list of joking. He's kidding. You're not supposed to believe any of that to be true. One thing about a billionaire that is willing to spend a lot of money for whatever reason is he is one of the people that don't like being unknown. And I will tell you this, if you are really rich but you don't have fame, that bothers them. The only thing worse is to be really famous and not to be rich. So if there was somebody handing out $250 million checks, he's not going to an Irishman under contract with the UFC, an American under contract with the WWE, bring them to India and walk around known as the rich Indian dude. He's going to give you his name every chance that he has. That is the commodity that he is getting in exchange for the ridiculous sums of money. There is no truth. There's no India new boxing league. There's no Conor and Paul. There's no $250 million. There was no part of the story that was true. On the most recent episode of the Jackson podcast, Michael Bisping and Luke Rockhold discussed the first time they ever sparred, before they fought each other in the UFC. This was when Luke was the Strikeforce champion. They talk about how after the sparring session, Bisping did an interview and said that he was the unofficial Strikeforce champion. This comment pretty much started their whole beef.
Yeah, and Bisping, Luke's been calling out Sean Strickland. How do you think Luke would do against him in the gym?
Sean's tricky, man. He's very good.
Tricky. He's tricky. I sparred him one time hungover. It wasn't. No. I sparred Bisping hungover too one time.
He did.
Y'all sparred and fought.
Yeah.
Hey,
y'all sparred before y'all fought?
That was Perillo's fault.
I came in. I was traveling down here and I remember.
Oh, here we go with the excuses.
And they're like, I want to get some work in.
I was hungover. I had nothing to eat. I've been all night. What else you got?
I was.
What else don't come to sparring then.
Hey, I thought we were sparring with big gloves on, and then the business everyone's like, oh, we're doing 4 ounce gloves. This mother puts me in the cage for 3 rounds with 4 ounce gloves on. I'm like, oh. And just got real. I was like, God damn. No. I thought I was coming in with like 16 ounce sparring, like regular session. It was on.
And that's before you guys ever fought?
First time we ever met.
Well, and this is what, because it was kind of a thing for me to say. I was on some kind of show, and Luke was the Strikeforce champion at the time, and we'd sparred, and somehow this reporter knew about it, said, how did the sparring go? And I'm a smart mouth, so I'm like, well, you shouldn't really talk about sparring, but let's just say I'm the unofficial Strikeforce champion.
Hey, that's a secret.
Because it's a funny line.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great line.
He got so worked up over it, and anyway.
Yeah, you gotta get worked up.
That's why I like Bisping. He's entertaining outside the cage.
Daniel Cormier thinks that if Ilia Topuria rematches Alexander Volkanovski and beats him again, he will become a global superstar. Ilia recently stated that he plans to move up to 155 pounds next, and Charles Oliveira was named as his first potential opponent. DC, however, thinks that Ilia still has work to do at 145. DC said you have to beat the prior generation to take from it. It's like professional wrestling. The old champion gets pinned by the new champion to build. That's why the Ultimate Warrior pinned Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan didn't like to get pinned, but they needed him to get the rub. And now what Ilia is going to do is take a lot of that shine from Volkanovski and Max, especially if Volk gets a rematch and he beats him again, into what will become a global superstar. I think he's still got work to do at 145. Unfortunately, he's going to beat the guys that sell early, so he's going to have to carry Diego Lopez, he's going to have to carry Evloev to numbers, because the numbers in the weight class now, for the last 9 years, have belonged to Volkanovski and Holloway. He's going to have to carry those new guys, because they don't have the cash that these last two had. Merab's coach Ray Longo responds to the notion that Merab is taking this fight against Umar Nurmagomedov too soon. Merab just defeated Sean O'Malley at UFC 306 in September. Both Ray Longo and John Anik believe the UFC is trying to give the advantage to Umar in any way they can, and not Merab, who is the undisputed champion. Just last week, Merab was denied entrance to the UFC PI because Umar was already inside training. Longo thinks it's 100% going to backfire on them.
Like, the way I see it, right? It's like Merab, he's going to be in shape. Merab isn't going to change his style fight to fight. It's not like, oh, I got to do something different. Merab's going to do what Merab does, as you mentioned. So for you, why are you hesitant or not liking the scenario optimally, I guess?
I mean, for me, it was just principle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wanted to fight in March, but because I guess the holidays for whatever Ramadan is for them, it's got to be before that. But it seems like just he's the champ. He should be dictating a little bit of what's going on.
So you feel they're catering more to Nurmagomedov than they are to Merab?
I mean, I don't know what they do. If I say they're catering more to him, you know, all the crazies come out like, I scared of.
Well, would you like me to say it? I work for the company. Would you like me to say
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't think this makes sense to anybody. Nobody had to turn around.
I started the conversation, and the promotion cuts my paycheck, so maybe I should interject.
Yeah, when O'Malley beat Aljo, what was his next fight? What, Merab? Right. How long was that? Imagine if they would have made him turn around in 2 months, tell him you got to fight again. Not happening. So I don't know. Well, it is what it is. I don't know. It's Christmas.
I'm not trying to get you going, but in terms of, Merab's going to do what he's going to do, right? Yes, right? And I understand that Merab is this unique athlete that your prototypical championship training camp is not applicable to him. But he is emotional about this matchup. He is emotional about this opponent. He is posting videos, perhaps in the nature of content creation, but outside the UFC PI, suggesting that as the undisputed UFC bantamweight champion, he's not being let in because Umar is in there and they don't want friction, right? This calendar is being laid out for the challenger in front of Ramadan in no uncertain terms.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like, they want to put everything in that guy's advantage. That's the way it looks like to me, but I think it's 100% going to backfire. Merab's definitely a different cat.
Khabib Nurmagomedov has asked Javier Mendez to stop calling Umar Nurmagomedov the Young Eagle because he is now 29 years old. Umar thinks that he should just be Eagle, and Khabib should now be Old Eagle.
Young Eagle, I got a question for you. Khabib said today, because today's your birthday, he said to me, you're 29 years old. He said, Coach, he's no longer Young Eagle. Don't call him Young Eagle anymore. What do you think? You agree with him?
Coach, it's not make sense if we look at for that like that. He's an eagle, right?
Yeah, he's
and
old
he
eagle.
My older brother.
Yeah, older
right?
brother, yes.
And if you're looking like that, I'm the younger brother and younger eagle. Young eagle, it means not age. It means like new generation.
Yes.
It was never been about age, right?
Right.
And we can't be both eagles.
Yeah, he's senior eagle. You're young eagle.
Yes, he old eagle.
He's old eagle. Yeah, he's old.
If I eagle, just eagle, he old eagle.
He's old eagle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Right.
So there you go, Khabib. You're old eagle. This is young eagle.
No, I'm eagle.
You're
now
eagle.
I become eagle, but
you're young eagle.
But between us now, people gonna call him old eagle.
Old eagle, yes. Because you're younger. He's an old guy now.
He already retired, and I think 18 January, coach, I'm gonna deserve this name.
Yes.
Eagle.
Eagle.
No
eagle.
No more young.
No
just
more young.
Eagle.
Okay, done.
Jamahal Hill has been going off on X today. This all started with the footage of Jamal grappling with Aljamain Sterling. Aljo reposted the footage. He wrote, "Good rolling with the champ." This user replied saying, "The champ? Are you rolling against yourself?" Aljo replied, "My brother. Once a champion, you are always a champion. Show a little respect." Jamal then chimed in. He said, "Bums that could never always have the most to say." This user replied, "Stop biting. For a born killer, you're super f***ing sensitive." Jamal replied, "Only weak bitches say shit like that when called out for hating. Go make some money, bum." This user replied, "Is that why you can't keep Alex's name out of your mouth? You must have the most to say about him, because you could never beat him. He knocked you f***ing silly." Jamal replied, Alex wasn't mentioned here at all. It's you fruits that keep other men's names in y'all mouths. This user says, LMAO, put a hand on me and kids will be raised by a single mother. Jamal replied, y'all keep talking this killing shit, bruh. I'm from real shit. One of y'all try me for real. My people will kill everything you love down to your dog. Find something safe to do. This user replied, you can't handle criticism no matter what. It's the ego that's the problem. Jamal replied, y'all disrespectful and hating meat slobbers who have egos while accomplishing nothing. You don't get where I am without criticism and holding yourself to a standard. Point proven. There's a reason y'all are bums hating instead of doing. Jamal then shifted focus to this post. It says, which fighter has the most excuses after a loss? Fans tagged Jamal a lot in the replies. Jamal replied, yet nobody can name the excuses they are claiming I'm making. Y'all are just riding haters that want to feel like you're on the level of somebody you can't with in any aspect of life. This user replied, bro just knew this post was about him. Jamal said, I was tagged 20 times by riding bitches like yourself. And this user said, Alex owns you, bro. Jamal replied, I own you and all you clowns' minds. Jamal ended it off by posting this gif of him winning the belt. He wrote, just to piss some haters off. Khabib Nurmagomedov recently did an interview with PFL and scoffed at the notion that Ireland produces high-level MMA fighters. Khabib said Ireland is not even close to Dagestan when it comes to producing fighters. Today, Khabib doubled down on that statement. On X, he wrote, you could say whatever you want, but if we're talking about facts, you can't compare Irish fighters with fighters from Dagestan. We dominate amateur MMA and it's not even close. Not just compared to Irish fighters, but the whole world. I'm absolutely confident that if we were to organize a team versus team matchup, Dagestan would defeat a world team in amateur MMA. And when it comes to professional MMA, we have champions, contenders, and ranked fighters in every major league. Show me Irish fighters who are currently title contenders in the top 3 MMA promotions. At best, you might be able to name 1 or 2 fighters. The facts speak for themselves. Tony Ferguson randomly fired back at Khabib. He wrote, shut up, fathead. You're still my b****. You fought 2-round quote-unquote pro padded fights leading up to the UFC. Easy to talk when you're not competing. Once a coward, always a coward. Champ only.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.
Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one says, Beheda farts. Full Mount. Footage. Alright, that was a pretty good one. The second one's from Bottle Coke. It says, great news. No one will remember Jamal soon here. And the final one's from Nick GG. It says, Darren. He said Dagestan, not Russia. Go focus on your career. What's left of it.
Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.